Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're about to uncover something that literally changes the game for life science careers. Look, if you think a career in biology is all about noble, groundbreaking research accompanied by, well, kind of modest paychecks, you are in for a massive surprise. Today, we're exploring the incredible and honestly somewhat shocking earning potential in modern biology. We're going to map out exactly how the field has evolved and what you need to do to climb to the absolute top of the compensation ladder.
350,000 pounds. Let that sink in for a second. That is not a lifetime earnings estimate, okay? That is the upper end of the annual salary for a chief scientific officer. I really wanted to drop this massive figure right up front to just completely shatter that whole starving scientist myth once and for all. The reality? The life sciences sector is absolutely booming right now. And for those who position themselves correctly, the financial rewards are literally rivaling top-tier positions in finance and big tech.
So how exactly do you get there? If you think biology is just hanging out with petri dishes, wearing lab coats, and perfectly pipetting clear liquids all day, well, it's time to update that mental image. While fundamental lab skills are absolutely still the bedrock of the science, the highest-earning biologists today are doing something completely different. As you'll see throughout this explainer, writing a few lines of code might actually do more for a modern biologist's bank account than a lifetime of traditional bench work. No joke.
All right, moving on to Section 1, the earning potential and top roles. Okay, let's dive into the actual data here. Who exactly is pulling in these massive salaries, and what job title should you be aiming for if you want to maximize your earning potential? Right here, we have the top 5 highest-paying biology roles globally. Right at the top, like we just talked about, is the Chief Scientific Officer, pulling in anywhere from 150 grand to well over 350,000 pounds. Just below that, you've got biotechnology directors, medical scientists, pharmaceutical scientists, and computational biologists. All of these have upper salary limits stretching from 160 grand up to 220,000. But here is the catch. What do all these roles have in common? An MSc or a PhD is the absolute baseline. To unlock these C-suite and director-level salaries, that advanced degree isn't just a nice-to-have, you know? It's your entry ticket to the game.
Which brings us to Section 2, the tech and bio crossover.
Because having a degree is great, but it's not the whole story. If we dig just a little deeper into the data, we uncover this major plot twist. The highest-paying biology jobs, they aren't actually just biology jobs anymore. They are hybrid roles that are deeply integrated with tech and data. Just look at the stark contrast in these salary ceilings based entirely on your skill focus. On the left, we've got traditional molecular biology, which is highly advanced vital stuff like PCR, CRISPR, and cell biology, capping out at a really impressive 130,000 pounds. But look at the right side, computational biology. By integrating AI, machine learning, and big data into the mix, that salary ceiling jumps straight to 160,000 pounds. Hybridizing biology with advanced tech literally raises your value in the marketplace.
And this brilliantly illustrates that exact trend across a few different specializations. Look at the high end of these average salaries. Pharmaceutical biotechnology reaches up to 170 grand, and bioinformatics, which relies heavily on coding and data, hits 160,000. Meanwhile, industrial branches like bioprocess engineering, which are still very lucrative, cap out slightly lower at around 120,000. So the pattern is undeniable here. Specializations that seamlessly blend cutting-edge medicine or heavy data analysis are the ones absolutely crushing it and out-earning the rest of the field.
All right, let's move to Section 3, top industries and global hotspots. So we know what jobs pay the most, but where is all this money actually hiding? Let's shift gears and look at the specific corporate sectors and geographic locations you really need to target. If you want the big money, these are the 5 industries you must look at. Our source data gives these 5 sectors a perfect 5-star rating for salary potential: pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, AI and healthcare, gene therapy, and genomics. Notice the theme there. These are not your traditional agricultural or environmental biology sectors, which, for context, our data shows sitting at a very respectable but lower 3-star salary potential. These 5 slices represent the absolute bleeding edge of human health and computational science. This is exactly where the heavy investment is flowing, and therefore, for sure, exactly where you need to apply your skills.
And honestly, geography plays an equally massive role here. The data identifies 3 absolute hotspots offering 5-star salary levels for biology professionals: the United States, Switzerland, and Denmark. Literally, just moving to one of these countries can act as an immediate salary multiplier for the exact same skill set. Now, other countries like Germany, the UK, and Canada offer great 4-star salaries. But if you are optimizing purely for the highest possible compensation, those top 3 are your prime destinations.
Next up, Section 4, the toolkit for a lucrative career. So let's break down the specific toolkit you need to actually land these roles. Consider this your technical checklist. Yes, obviously, wet lab skills like CRISPR-Cas9 and next-generation sequencing are absolutely vital. They're the foundation of the house. But take a look at the first few items on this list: Python, R, AI, and machine learning. Learning to code in Python or R is the essential next step to literally double your salary potential. Think of it this way: if you can generate genetic data in the lab, you are valuable. But if you can write the code that uses machine learning to analyze that massive amount of genetic data, you are invaluable. But wait, you absolutely cannot ignore the soft skills multiplier. Remember that 350,000-pound chief scientific officer role we talked about earlier? Yeah, you do not get to the C-suite just by being the best coder or the fastest bench scientist. Climbing to that elite level requires exceptional scientific writing, project management, communication, and above all else, leadership. You really have to be able to translate all that complex data into high-level business strategies. Let's wrap it all together in Section 5, Blueprint for a Lucrative Career. With all this data in mind, we can now construct the ultimate payoff. Consider this your literal cheat sheet for success in the modern biological sciences. Step 1 and 2. Get your master's degree and gain solid laboratory experience. That establishes your core credibility. But steps 3 and 4, that is where the magic happens. Learn bioinformatics, specifically Python and R, and build serious expertise in AI and genomics. These are the critical tech pivots required to maximize your income. Once you have that hybrid skill set, step 5 is joining a top-tier pharma or biotech firm. And finally, step 6, consider a PhD if you're aiming for those ultimate senior research or CSO positions.
Look, the crucial takeaway here is that this tech-bio hybrid path is not just some passing fad. If you look at where the industry is heading, the highest demand future careers are heavily skewed towards AI-driven drug discovery, CRISPR gene editing, and precision medicine. The data makes it crystal clear. Combining molecular biology with data science and AI is the single best way to future-proof your career and ensure you stay at the very top of the compensation brackets for decades to come. The intersection of biology and technology is where the future is being written, and it's where the highest rewards are waiting for you. You now have the blueprint, you know the industries, and you know the exact skills required to elevate your earning potential. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. Are you ready to step out of the traditional lab coat, learn the tech, and hack not just the code of life, but the code to an incredibly lucrative career?